Hey guys, Hector here with another American related video, but this one's going to be a little more vloggy. I kind of wanted to talk about an issue that some people say the United States is very violent and pretty much stuff into that nature. We're all aggressive and crazy and everything. But it's kind of true, but not always. Let's just go into it. Okay, so for the reason I think the United States is more aggressive than other countries based on the citizens, not the government. I'm not going to be talking about soldiers and, war and all that stuff. It's because of a couple things. One is because a lot of people from all over the world come together and just get packed into this one country, and there's a huge conflict of ideologies. Some people from other countries, and let me just clarify real quick. The country isn't just full of immigrants. Sometimes immigrants come from other countries and then they have kids, and even kids, down to the second, third generation will still have a sort of mindset from the original immigrant family. And sometimes it just kind of gets infused in the family sort of thing, I guess you can say. So basically, a lot of countries aren't as accepting as certain groups as others. Some people hate certain races, some people hate certain religions, some people hate certain ideologies, I guess you can say, sexual orientation. Some people don't think women should be equal, and just all these different things, and you pack them all into the same country, and then on top of that, you're given free speech. Now I know some people will say, well, hey man, I have free speech in my country too, we're a free country. That's not always the same case, because in the United States we're also allowed to do hate speech. Hate speech is protected under our laws as long as it doesn't incite violence. I know it seems kind of counterintuitive, like, hate speech would always kind of incite violence, but it has to be kind of like a clear, direct type thing of violence. Like, not always super specific, like, I'm going to kick your ass and this person's going to kick your ass at whatever, whenever. Not that specific. There's just certain scenarios and certain things that are protected and certain that aren't. But a lot of times you can just hate on another group in general, and it's pretty much allowed. And so people get upset and just things get all crazy. And sometimes those people get into positions of power, like they might become a political figure, they might even get into like the police academy and become police officers, and they still have those mindsets that one group is better than another, and sometimes they just kind of inflict their mindset, or they oppress people, I guess you can say. And so some people get really angry because they feel oppressed, and some groups are oppressed. It's worse in certain states than others, but still, it happens. And a lot of people are still fighting for equality. Of course, the gay community is still fighting for equality, for equal rights, equal marriage and stuff like that. Gay people want to get married, but even in some states in the United States, some gay people aren't allowed to be gay, basically. I'm not sure if there's still laws, but I know a few years back there were laws in certain states that said you couldn't have like gay sex or certain types of sexes, and it specifically targeted gay people. And even with women, I'm not saying there's laws against women like that, but a lot of women still don't feel equal to men, and that's also where the feminist movement came. Feminists were supposed to show that women should be equal to men, and that kind of got lost in translation when a lot of women started just hating on men. And same with racial equality. Some races kind of banded together and say, hey man, we should be equal, but some of those people in the group started just hating on the other races, and then they just started this huge riot sort of stuff. And so we have this freedom of speech, which is totally cool. And there are some groups that have gone together and have been sort of hateful. And we even have our own terrorist group. I kind of talked about this in some other videos. But the Ku Klux Klan, the KKK, is a terrorist group in the United States that believes pretty much the entire United States should be all white and, I believe, Christian. And so, of course, they're allowed, well, I don't know why I did quotation marks, they are allowed to have all their speech and say, well, we think the United States should be all white, and we think the United States should be all Christian, and all the other people should leave. they're allowed to do that, but once they start turning violent, then you can get arrested and stuff like that. And I always kind of wondered why they were allowed to do that sort of stuff, because that group has done terrible acts of violence in the past, and still a little bit in the present, but definitely not as much as the past. But yet they're still allowed to be a group. So it seems kind of weird to me, but there are some government agencies that monitor all these groups and mark them as hate groups and stuff like that, like things to be wary of, I guess you can say. So of course it can get a little confusing when some things are free to say and some things aren't, and even when it's not related to violence. But that's pretty much my theory. All these groups are just kind of jammed together, have different ideologies from all over the world, and people are still fighting for equality. Some people want other groups to be oppressed and all that stuff. And that's pretty much why I think the United States is all crazy, and of course because some of those people get into power and start oppressing. And so that's my vlog of it, I guess you can say. And I guess that's it. So you can leave a comment under this video giving me your own thoughts, and we can have a totally cool, calm speech about it if you want, or a conversation about it. Just not get all crazy. And I guess that's it. So if you like this video, you can give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more American related videos, because more will be coming in the future.